I have an idea and a suggestion for our content creators, and I really hope that this catches on. And I'll tell you about it in just a minute on Iyapo Yapa. Peace, my family. This is Iyapo. This is Iyapo Yapa. And welcome back. And thank you for watching. This this share is mostly for content creators, but it will pertain to anyone who is watching. I just watched Nicole's view about an hour ago, and she was talking about James Byrd Jr. And I had honestly forgotten about that case. I mean, because it was years ago that he was beaten and dragged to his death, down the road for 3 miles in Texas, and I had forgotten about that. And as I listened to her commentary, which I'll give you the lab for, as I listened to her commentary, I was like, I genuinely had forgotten about that. And then that prompted me to start thinking about other names that I have forgotten, or not forgotten so much as haven't been in the front of my mind. And as you saw at the beginning, or at my opener, I had the image of Sandra Bland, and this actually is what pertains to my thought process about this. Now, you have like a Sandra Bland, you have Philando Castile, you have Emmett Till, Trayvon Martin, James Byrd Jr., of course. And we tend to, by no fault of our own, it's not so much that we forget about them as much as you just don't really think about it, because it kind of fades. It's almost like the passing of a loved one, and then as the years go by, it's not that you ever forget them. It's just you just don't constantly think about them. I mean, you know what I mean. You know what I mean, especially if you have a loved one who has passed. You know what I mean. And my thought process is this: as human beings, we do tend to have short memories, and it's not our fault. It's just natural. Besides that, you can't just stay in a level of pain and just sustain that. So it's natural. But I don't want these people forgotten. And there are a lot of our people, and I just don't want us forgotten. So what my idea is, I think it's a pretty simple one. Is that for those who have content, to do basically what I just did with Sandra Bland, and rotate just various images at like either the beginning or the very end of your share. It doesn't have to be like this big thing, like that's what it's about. It just shows this image, and you could possibly provide a link to information about the person, or about the case, or about what happened. Okay, and like I said, in the course of your content, it doesn't have to be, your content doesn't even have to pertain to that. It'll just have that at the very beginning or at the very end for a few seconds, so that every time someone sees your content, every time someone sees one of our shares, it'll just keep that memory in front of them. Always just keeping the memory in front of us so that we do not forget. And in part, for me, it really upsets me to know that we're dealing with a people who make light of our pain, or who discount it altogether, and just naturally, we may forget about things, or it becomes the story of yesterday. But what happened to Philando Castile was brutal, but the memory of it is kind of slowly fading, and and that's exactly what white America wants to happen, by the way, is for these things to like fade and soften in our memories. But if we have a bunch of content creators who, like, right before they start in on whatever it is they're going to discuss, they just show the image, and maybe in the dates of their birth and death, and just let it fade, go into whatever it is that you're going into, or at the very end of it. And like a lot of people know that, I at the beginning of a lot of my videos, I try to pull a laugh, and if I'm doing something like that, I'm not going to do that and then show that type of image. I may do that at the beginning, and then at the end of my share, I'll add it, depending on the mood of the beginning or the mood of the end, or even if there's some place in between that we would choose to do it. But just some place within our platform, just show it and let it fade, just to keep it in our memory. I know that's what I'm going to start doing. Because it hurts me when I think about our people who have been taken from us for nothing. And how in most cases, I'm not even going to say in many cases, in most cases, nothing was. George Stinney was executed in South Carolina for killing 2 white girls. I don't know if any of you are familiar with George Stinney. Many of you probably are. But if you aren't, he was 14 years old. 14 years old. And after the execution, like 70 years later, 70 years, they said, well, he didn't do it. 14-year-old boy. A 10-minute trial. And look, I am all man. But when I look at that young man's picture, it brings tears to my eyes every single time. That could be my son. It's our son. And so was Emmett Till. For nothing. And as much as possible, I think that those of us who have platforms should remind our people of these things so that it stays fresh in our minds. Yeah, there's a lot going on in our community and a lot that we need to attend to. But there's also a lot of foolishness that we're paying attention to that we shouldn't necessarily be paying attention to, and should be keeping in mind our people who have been murdered. So anyway, not going to be a long share. I just wanted to present that idea and show what I meant. And I'm hoping that this is something that'll catch on. I don't care if it's I don't care if it's attributed to me or not. It doesn't matter. This isn't about This isn't about Iyapo. This isn't about me or my channel. This is about our people. Everything is about our people. When are we going to get it? That's it. I sure do love your family. All right? Peace to you. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and to all of our comment creators, all of our content, creators. Just keep in mind what I said and think about maybe doing that, because it is needed and it doesn't take much. It really doesn't take much. So thank you for watching, and peace and blessings.